Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sell More Book Show, episode 497. I'm Brian Cohen from Author Ad School, joined by Claire Taylor from FFS Media. Claire, oh my goodness, I'm happy to see you. Yes, the royal wave. So Claire, we have an announcement to make in this episode, and we're just gonna start in with it, right?
Yes.
We're going to
Yes.
start in with it.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Do you want me to spill the beans, or should I leave it to you?
Can because I feel a lot of feelings about this.
Yeah. So, it's been amazing having the last 197 episodes with you, Claire, but we have decided you're fired. No, we have decided that Claire has decided that she is going to move on to other pursuits. And so episode 500 will be Claire Taylor's last episode.
Oh.
I've already processed all my feelings about it, so um, uh,
I thought
but
I had, but I'm having new feelings now that the time has come to
I
announce
know.
it.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
No, I mean it has been great being on the show, Brian. Like you have been a great co-host. The show has helped me meet so many people, helped, just that sort of foot in the door to have people introduce themselves to me and get to know new people. And it's been great getting to know all of the listeners. And I will miss chatting with you every week, Brian, but
Yeah.
also interacting with all the Sillmore Book Show listeners. I'm sure I will still see most of you around conferences and you can still come up to me. But yeah, I just, I'm starting to really integrate the reality that there are usually more choices to be made
Mm.
than I necessarily feel like there are choices for my attention. And I think that you're going to find someone great, whatever you do with the show, once I'm gone. And hopefully they will have more attention to give it than I have so far. But I'm sure it'll be whatever form it takes after this. It's going to be fantastic, and everyone's going to get the same value each week, maybe more, hopefully more. So that's my wish for it, at least.
I think it would be hard for it to be more. Maybe we can strive for the same.
We'll see, but yeah, we'll see what I do next. I have some ideas. I feel like I'm finally at a point after the last, like, just on a personal note, last like year and a half, I've been dealing with dying dogs, and so it's been very hard
Yeah.
to dying and then grieving. But it's been very hard to focus on the future. And now that I'm seeing like, okay, all right, what do we got here? What are we working with?
Yeah.
So I may pop back in. I'll still be in the Facebook group if anyone wants to
Yeah.
reach out.
Yeah. We'll be in the Facebook group as much as we have been.
Yep.
Maybe you'll be in the Facebook group more after having left the show, because we
Yeah.
haven't exactly been
I'll
present.
be in there as frequently as someone tags me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, Claire, I will say on behalf of all the listeners, I know I will miss you. We will all miss you. We still got some shows left to do, but
Hmm.
we get to have a victory tour-esque, retirement tour. Um, and so I definitely think that you're gonna be missed, and I'm glad that I have your number so I can still call
Yeah.
you.
Yes, I'm glad you will still call me. And I'm all about encouraging people to try new patterns of thinking, feeling, and
Mm,
behaving. And I'm officially not rage quitting the show. So I feel like this is a new pattern of behaving for
yeah.
me.
Yeah. And no sneaky goodbye, and no
No
uh
Irish goodbye, despite the fact that I really wanted to.
yeah, I know. I know you did. Well, it has been an honor, and we'll try to make sure this last few episodes with you has all of your greatest hits. These episodes will be your best ones.
I gotta figure out what my greatest hits are first.
Yeah, I know. I know. All by myself. I don't know why that was the song that I came up with, but um let's let me just do a little plug here for Author Ad School because it is the last time we're going to offer the 2023 prices. We're going to raise the prices. This is the second saddest thing to happen in this episode. The first saddest is Claire leaving. The second saddest is that the prices are going to go up. But if you want to lock in the 2023 prices, go to adschool2023.com. Liberated Writers started, right, Claire?
It did. It started last week, so we have closed registration. It'll be open again in January. But I do still have one-on-one consulting availability for parts of October and through November. So if anyone wants to have a chat with me for an author alignment where we talk about your career story alignment, where we get your story back on track, that is at ffs.media/schedule.
Very nice. Very nice. Let's go into previous week's question. What do you think will be Spotify's next move in its attempt to compete with Audible? Dharma Kelleher had very specific instructions here. Week 1, give away 2 audiobooks a month to premium UK and AU members. Week 2, expand to US. Week 3, up it to 3 books a month. Week 4, throw in a free kitten. Week 5, all audiobooks free regardless of subscription level. Week 6, hiring the Wagner Group to invade the ACX corporate offices. I think that's exactly what's going to happen, Dharma. Thank you for sharing that.
That is a takeover.
Yeah.
A hostile one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Max Tillisler said, it's an interesting one. If they compete on price, it becomes an even worse deal for indie authors, assuming Spotify doesn't eat the costs. There's plenty of room for them to have a better app and discovery process than Audible. They could buy Kobo and then try to compete with a more full suite style of content delivery. No idea what they will actually do, however.
Fortunately, we know because Dharma told us. So,
yeah. There's free kittens.
And we have actually gotten some word back from Findaway and Spotify answering some of our questions. We do not have time to cover it this week, but next week we will bake it into the show. So, top story of the week, the limit does exist. I feel like I've used 7 iterations of that joke from Mean Girls in some more book show titles. But
and I hope you use 7 more somehow before I depart.
Yeah, stop trying to make fetch happen. So no. In another step to slow the flood of AI generated books, Amazon has instituted a 3-book a day limit on publishing on its KDP platform. Quote, though a 3 books a day limit still seems high given how long it takes to write an actual book, says PC Magazine's Michael Cant. Amazon KDP in their recent forum update said that they are actively monitoring the rapid evolution of generative AI and the impact it's having on reading, writing, and publishing, and we remain committed to providing the best possible shopping, reading, and publishing experience for our authors and customers, end quote. Amazon further reports that they haven't seen a spike in publishing numbers despite implementing the new restriction designed to slow listings. In an interview with The Guardian, Amazon confirmed there was already an undisclosed daily limit on the number of books authors could list per day, but would not share the number. Amazon also claims that few authors or publishers will be affected by the new change, but those who are have the option to seek an exception. We talked a little bit about this last week. We gave it its own time here. There's a couple of interesting points in here. Do you think Amazon is lying when they say they haven't seen a spike in the publishing numbers? Because it's like, why are they implementing a restriction? The only thing I can think of is it's a PR move. But if the numbers haven't gone up, it's not like Amazon likes sharing real numbers anyway. What do you think, Claire?
Yeah, I think that we don't know. We can't know. It does seem a little strange that they would put something in place if there's not a problem. So, but that has happened before, right? There have been PR snafus throughout history where, someone responded to fears and claims that were unsubstantiated, and therefore, to quell the fear and therefore actually stirred up more fear by trying to validate it. So sometimes that process does happen. But I don't know. I am skeptical, and I tend to think, well, is this something that I need to know to continue with my strategy? And I don't think so.
Yeah, going into the hot potatoes of wisdom here. I don't think it impacts my strategy either, and probably doesn't impact 99% of strategies. But is it Amazon's place? This is a hot potato here. Is it Amazon's place to try to stop a stream of AI created books? Like, do you think that is something Amazon is supposed to do? I mean, what do you think, Claire?
I certainly think that Amazon has the authority to stop the stream of AI generated books. I don't think anyone would dispute that Amazon gets to do whatever Amazon wants to do on Amazon. Do they need to do it? Well, I don't know, because we don't know the numbers. But I would say that Amazon doesn't, or at least in the past, has not done things out of like responsibility to the common good. They do things based on what the consumers want and what best suits the consumers, because that is what best suits Amazon. So, I mean, if there was ever a scenario where it was like, well, what is best for consumers versus what is best for Amazon's bottom line, I think Amazon would go with their bottom line. But thankfully, that doesn't tend to be a conflict that arises because the interests are generally the same. So I don't think we should rely on Amazon to do anything out of morality or ethics for like the greater good, because that's just not how the business model has ever been structured.
If their interest is aligned with their bottom line, sort of, then then good things will happen for the consumers.
Yeah, I think that is what it is, and they forget that sometimes I think they and a lot of other economists forget that the consumer is also the producer and the worker, and so that's where things start to come into conflict.
Right. But, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we don't need to get into all that today.
Oh, okay. Because I could really go down that rabbit hole.
I know you could.
All right, Brian. Well, I'll throw you a hot potato of wisdom. Are the recent Amazon changes genuinely meant to help or just to placate those who are objecting to AI books being published? What do you think about that?
I think that Amazon has put this limit in place in part because of public relations. It knows that there has been a lot of frustration, some from the author community, but I would say some from the consumer community. And I think that if they show that they are making an effort here, it at least keeps those people who are angry from being angry specifically at Amazon, because I think Amazon does not want to incur wrath whenever possible.
Yeah, and there have been like reader and consumer based issues that people have voiced for a long time, especially about the categories and trying to find like the book you're looking for in those categories. And I know it's extra frustrating to authors when you're like, well, I can't rank in the top 100 because there's all these shirtless men and this is not a shirtless men genre. So it takes a lot. I mean, people have been talking about that for a long time, and they're only kind of now messing with the categories. So I think it takes a lot of complaints before Amazon decides to really look into something. So that is presumably why they're taking this action. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. Well, I'll save my doom and gloom predictions of what Amazon is doing for another time. I'm not here to just panic.
Save that for episode 500. That's when it'll be all doom and all gloom. An all doom and gloom episode. We might have both froze for a second.
Okay,
but
I think we both did. We're back.
Yeah, but I was saying you'll save everything for episode 500 when it's all doom and gloom.
Yeah, and I'll let y'all know everything terrible that is coming down the pipeline.
Exactly, exactly. Awesome. We've got lightning. um,
Crackle.
yeah. So, lightning round question for you, Claire. Amazon KDP recently posted in their KDP forum about a tool for setting shipping rates and speeds, only to later remove the post behind the link. What do you think it was, and do you think authors would have used it?
Well, Brian, I have no idea about this tool for setting shipping rates and speeds that they added only to later remove it. I don't know what this is about. It was probably a test that they were considering that they someone accidentally hit the button on and then were like, "Oh, this is not what we thought," or it was some sort of catastrophic failure. I mean, any sort of adjustments and customizations that are offered to authors is generally a good thing. So it'll just be a matter of like, there'll be the discussions around how do authors best use this, and I'm sure someone will have the loudest opinion eventually, and then authors will try that for a while and see if it works.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you are right.
All right, Brian. Amazon has launched and retracted features recently. What new feature would you love to see added to KDP?
I would love to see plenty of features added to KDP, but I think that the feature that I'm always hoping for is that the KDP reports dashboard would show up on the top of the Amazon ads dashboard so that people could see in real time, well, here are my actual sales compared to my ad spend. Reader Links, aka Author Helper Suite, which is its current name, it's been doing this for so long, and it even allows you to bring in the Facebook ad spend. And it makes an author's ability to earn more royalties so much easier. And if Amazon found a way to do it, it would make more money, but it hasn't done it despite my all my letters.
Right. Yep, that sounds like a very empowering tool for authors.
Empowerment, I know. It's a little scary, Amazon, but so Claire, how can an author tell if a publisher is legit, like they got an email or they got a call? How can they tell if a publisher is legitimate?
So once you start writing and publishing books, you will probably have some of these emails from publishers offering to publish your next book or take the book you've self-published and publish it for you and all that kind of stuff. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. So how do you know if it's legit? Not many publishing companies that are legit go and scout authors. So that's maybe your first sign to perk up, to have some cold email saying, hey, your book is great. Here's a, all text email with a little link, and then it goes to some website, whatever. It's also important to remember that if you have to pay money, that's not how publishing works. So if the publisher says you pay us $5,000 and we will publish your book, we will do these services and we will market it. Look at all these bestsellers. That's a big red flag. I think Christine Catherine Rush is noted for saying the money should always flow to the author. And so that is something that you can look out for. Also, just ask people. There are so many forums. If you're not sure, go drop it in a Facebook group of authors and say, has anyone worked with these people? Or if you know some authors, go ask them to put another eye on it. Generally, the process is that the author needs to seek out the publisher. The author seeks out an agent, and the agent works with the publisher, and that's sort of the process. So if you're being scouted or headhunted, that is a red flag, unfortunately. It feels good for a moment, but it probably will not work out for you long term.
Yeah. Great advice, Claire. Thank you.
Brian, how do you decide whether to do it yourself or pay for it?
So, Claire, if you are trying to decide whether you're going to do some marketing thing, some book publishing thing, some formatting thing yourself or pay for it, you kind of have to check your energy and your time and your money levels. If I do this, will it keep me from doing something else? If I say yes to this thing, what thing am I going to say no to? And if I pay for this thing, is there something I won't be able to afford? Because a lot of the time when you're starting off, you don't have necessarily those three things in abundance. And so you absolutely have to determine, going to do it yourself or outsource it. Claire, as the final lightning round question, what was the hardest thing for you to let go of and have someone else do for you?
That's interesting because I know it's hard to let go of things as an author. What are you going to do? What are you going to hand off to someone else? This is something that I really struggle with. This is a pattern that's very deeply ingrained for me to just do it myself. Everything that I have given to someone else, I have not regretted giving to someone else. So I've had people answer my emails. I've had people create graphics for me, all this different stuff. There are some things that I have to do as the author. I have to write, I have to write the books. I have to do any sort of on-air live appearances. And that's kind of it. And I hand a lot of the other stuff to other people, and I just have never regretted it. It always feels good, and I'm always looking for new ways to give someone else more work so that I don't have to do it. But my problem is more that I have too many books going at a time, and so the essential work for me, there's too much of it always. So
I get that completely, but good advice there. So we need a question of the week. I do not care if it is about this story of the day, but I'm interested a little bit in this outsourcing idea.
Oh, okay.
So, what things in your publishing business do you do yourself, and what things do you hand off to somebody else?
Awesome. No notes.
No notes. Yes, my favorite words. You can answer the question of the week over at sellmorebookshow.com or in the Sell More Book Show After Party Facebook group that we definitely go to regularly.
Every time we're tagged.
Awesome. Well, Claire, folks can schedule some time with you at ffs.media/schedule, and they might be crying the whole time.
That's how I like it.
Yeah, for various reasons, but definitely, at least in part, because they'll be sad that you're heading out in a few episodes.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, I would love to see people crying or not.
Yeah. Same. And Ad School price is going up. It's on Monday, end of the day Monday, the 23rd of October, that the prices will go up. So adschool2023.com. We'd love to have you in there. And I'll put in another note here. If you are an author who earns over $2,500 a month in royalties, I do have a coaching program that I run that's just me coaching a small group of authors. We're about to finish up our first year of it. It's been amazing. And if you are interested in finding out more about it, just email my team at brian@sellingforauthors.com and see if you would be interested in applying. But I would love to have a new gaggle of people. Going to do a fiction group and a nonfiction group, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
That sounds great.
Yeah, thanks. So, cool. Well, Claire, you've been awesome. You're always awesome.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I will absorb that like a dry sponge.
Shh. Love it. Awesome. Well, for Claire, and we'll get as much Claire as we can these last few episodes. For Claire, I'm Brian. Have a great week of book selling, everybody. And we'll talk to you next week for episode 498. Bye.
Bye.